lie there in that old curiosity shop.
Well, if you're anxious to see me use this little stove, you may wait no longer. We're going to make beef noodle soup this afternoon. I am so excited and proud about that stove that I cannot tell you. It is a gas stove. It is brand new. I saved hundreds of dollars on it because I bought it at my local Habitat for Humanity. They had just gotten it in. It has a tiny little scratch on the side, but it had never actually been used. And they hooked it up they tested it in the store. And I've used it several times since I've had it here in my home. And it's fantastic. I got a wonderful Dutch oven from my mother for my mother and stepfather as one of the Christmas gifts that they gave me, and it's time to break it in. So what I've got over here on the kitchen counter for my soup is about a pound and a half of beef stew meat, and then I went ahead and cut it up even a little bit smaller because I wanted smaller bite-sized pieces. That's about a cup of diced onion. That's a 12-ounce bag of frozen peas and carrots. And then I diced up, there's about a cup of celery there. And then this is a little bit of salt and pepper. And then in this little dish here, I've got some garlic, minced garlic, some oregano, and a little bit of beef paste. I wanted to put, tomato paste in here, but the tomato paste down in my refrigerator had mold on it. I needed to use that up, and so anyway, yeah, well, I don't need any penicillin this afternoon. This is a 16-ounce bag of egg noodles, and I didn't use the whole bag. We'll see. And then I've got 6 cups of beef broth. And then, of course, we need olive oil and a few other little things. Now, when you do this, you can have all types of variations. If you don't like celery, don't put it in there. I'm just using beef stock from the store. These are frozen peas and carrots. Yeah. So you use what you have, but those are the basic ingredients for this soup. We will light this bad boy up and we'll start to sear the meat. Let's do it. All right, we'll let this cast iron Dutch oven get nice and hot. And then in goes a splash of olive oil, and then we'll sear the meat. Now you may say, well, you forgot to toss it in flour and salt and pepper. No, I'm not going to do that because I'm not making stew. So it's not really necessary. You could if you want to, but for soup, I'm just going to dump the meat in and braise it. If I were making stew, this would go in flour and salt and pepper and all of that stuff. But I'm not going to do that for the soup that I'm making. Okay, so we'll come back as soon as this pan is nice and hot. Okay, I hear a little bit of snap, crackle, pop in there, which means this is good and hot. Let's go ahead and get some of the meat in there. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm dumping it all in at one time. Dumping it all in at one time. It's good and hot. I'm not adding any salt, not at this point. And I'm not going to be too fussy about flipping each piece of meat. The pieces are small and they'll sear very nicely. We'll let them sit there for a couple of minutes. You want to almost burn it. Almost. Oh, it smells good already. Okay, the beef has seared enough for me. I'm going to actually spoon it out, put it on this plate, and then you could use a little wine if you want to deglaze, but I'm actually going to just go ahead and throw in my celery and onions and begin to cook them a little bit and get some of the flavor out of the pan. So we'll get the meat out of here and we'll come back and add the vegetables. All right, we'll get the last of this beef out of here and onto this plate right here. And get up there. Oh, that was good. All right, celery. About, what did I tell you? About a cup of celery. And I might not do quite all. I'm not a big onion guy. Let's not do quite a cup of onions. Let's just not. All right, we might need to put a little more olive oil in there, but I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit and get all of the goodness off of the side of this pan. And I just want to turn the onions translucent, and then we'll add liquids. Oh, it looks and smells so good. All right, I'm going to add just a little bit of beef stock here to continue deglazing this pan. It's kind of hard to hold the camera and do this at the same time. Let me switch hands here. Hey, you think I don't use my antique items? I sure do. There's a cream and green enamel spoon. Let's bring the heat back up on that. And we'll really let that go. All right, when we come back, we should have translucent onions. We should. Okay, that looks fine to me. Good enough for jazz. In goes my frozen. All right, they don't want to all come out of there. I'll get them out of there. Hold on. My frozen peas and carrots. And that, what did I say? That was about a 12-ounce bag. No big deal that they're not defrosted. I did have them sitting out for about 10 minutes, but it won't take long, not in this Dutch oven, and we're going to cover this and it's going to simmer for quite a while. I'm going to take the beef, which is steaming over here, and we'll dump that right back in. Oh, all that flavor. All that flavor! Okay. Let me turn the heat down just a smidgen. And then we'll go back over here. And once again, this was really not much salt at all because, of course, as you know, there's going to be salt in the broth. Now, I'm going to have to turn the camera off, and I think I need to do this with two hands to get that paste out of there. There's the garlic, the oregano, and the beef paste, just for a little extra oomph, oomph, oomph. Oomph, 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 oomph. Well, you'll have to take my word for it. I did manage to get the broth in there, or beef stock, without spilling it all over the place. But I thought I had pressed record on the camera, but I did not do so. Okay, let's go ahead and add the noodles. Oh, excuse me. And this is, what did I tell you? Oh, it was a 16 ounce bag of egg noodles. You can use whatever you want, but this is what I'm using. And I didn't use the entire, I don't have the entire bag. I can't really grip that with my right hand. So we'll use my better hand. All right, and get in there, Noodles. Get in there. That's a nice pink depression glass bowl. I use my stuff, good folk. This ain't no museum. Now, if I find that I've put in too many noodles, and it appears as though I have, but I like it noodly, I might have to add a couple more cups, and I believe I'm going to have to add a few more cups of broth to this. So let's go ahead and add about 2 more cups, and we'll bring this up and get it to a nice little boil. All right, cats and kittens. So we've got now between 8 to 9 cups of the broth. This will all cook down a little bit more, of course. I'm going to continue to heat this up, and then once we get a nice good simmer going here, I'll lower the heat a little bit and put the lid on, and we'll let it go for about a half an hour. I guess I'll probably check it every 10 minutes or so. Don't really need to. It should be just fine. Let's have a peek. Ooh. Now, I went digging around and I found another can of tomato paste without any mold on it. So I actually added, I don't know, half a cup of tomato paste. Yeah, that's what I did. So that's it. Look at that. All I'm going to do now is, I suppose if I had some fresh bay leaves or thyme, you could put that on the top of it to further season it, but I think it'll be okay just like that. I'm going to put my lid back on and turn the heat down in a moment, and we'll just let it simmer away. Then I'll get this kitchen cleaned up. All right, and then we will tonight, before the live sale, I will have some nice hot homemade beef noodle soup for dinner. Gee, I wish you could join me. Maybe next time. Oh yes, okay, we can turn this down now. We can definitely turn it down so that we just have a nice little simmer, and then we'll let it go for, half an hour, 45 minutes. Check it again. Oh, I can't wait. All right, now it's been going to town for about 45 minutes, and I took it off of that burner, which is, I turned the gas off, I've moved it over, and I'm going to spoon some out into this cup right here. If it is thicker than you would want it to be, add more broth. It's almost like a stew, you know. And one of the things that really thickened it up is, of course, as you noticed, I did not pre-cook the noodles. If you pre-cook the noodles and rinse them, you get rid of a lot of that starch. But by throwing the noodles in and just letting them cook as the soup cooked, it adds a thickness and a richness to it. So I'm happy with this, actually. I was not trying to make beef stew, and that's not what it is. But ooh, look at that. The noodles are nice and tender. The meat is tender. And I'm not a big onion guy, as I said, but those onions, they pretty much just fizzle away in there and just give it a really good flavor. All right, let's spoon some of this out into my cup over here, and it's dinner time! It's dinner time. Okay, I've been waiting for this. There it is. A nice hot, look at that, cup of soup. I bet this is gonna burn my little lips. Let's let it cool off. Ooh. It's still too hot. All right, I got a pea, a carrot, a beef, a noodle, and I'm sure there's a little onion in there somewhere. Let's see. Boom, chicka, wow, wow. Well, this is good. This is so good. Now, as I said, if you want it thinner, put more broth in there and cook your noodles separately. I don't need to add anything to it, I don't think. It tastes just perfect to me, but hey, what can I say? All right, I am going to turn the camera off and smack my lips, but I'll be back at 8 o'clock tonight, so you join me, won't you? I'll put a little soup aside for you, a little bowl. Oh, you know what? I've got some bread in there I can toast. Oh my gosh. Okay, we'll see you at 8 o'clock, yeah? Mm-hmm. All right, we'll see you at 8 o'clock tonight. Oh, this is so good. Won't you try it yourself? Look. Let's try it again. Ooh, there's that man across the street. He wants to see what's going on. Come on over. I love it. Thanks for watching. Wait for the cat.